So it all started when news leaks of BioWare basically just being stripped to the bones was like leaked. I don't know if it was leaked. I think this was like EA like basically saying like, hey, we are like downsizing or whatever, which just means layoffs and people are getting fired left and right, which good, obviously. You're not gonna hear me complain about that because the thing that I'm the most famous for is telling the Veilguard devs to. So you know what I mean? You're not gonna see me shed a tear over this matter. I was right there with everyone else that felt slighted about Dragon Age, and I was cheering about their downfall because everyone knew that was gonna happen but them. Is it my fault that you suck at your job? No. You're firing me? Yes, Kevin, I'm firing you. I don't care that you have been working here for 30 years. Have you pulled your weight in those 30 years? No. Is this news to anyone? That if you go to work and you don't do your job properly, the company can fire you for not doing your job? Because I thought that's kind of how that worked, but maybe I'm the one that's crazy. We have IGN, we have PC Gamer, we have all those journalists are now being like, yeah, BioWare sucks and Veilguard sucked. And it's like, okay, so now they are obviously, that's what you can expect from gaming journalists, okay? It's that they're gonna switch their tune every 2 seconds because it's the controversy that's keeping them in the game. I said this many months ago, before Corinne Bush left the company, before John Epper left the company, before all the layoffs. I said BioWare is gonna die. BioWare has been dead. It has been dead since the days of Dragon Age 2. If I can say it, it has been in decline since Anthem and Andromeda. Obviously. And I was genuinely surprised that it had lasted as long as it had. It's been running on literally like fumes, on reputation alone. I like compare it to the ship of Theseus. If you change every nail and plank in the ship of Theseus, is it still the ship of Theseus? No, it isn't. So are we surprised that Dragon Age the Veilguard, not even a year after release, it's now basically being given away for free? No, I'm not. And then news come out, right? That, yeah, BioWare is downsizing. It's focusing on the next Mass Effect because, of course, they are. It's all it has. Everything BioWare has at the moment, it's Mass Effect. And we don't know anything about it. Except that it's like the last chance that BioWare has to stay awake, to stay, in the game. This downsizing means that a lot of people are getting displaced in the company. They're being moved from BioWare to EA to work on another EA title. And a lot of people that worked on Veilguard actually, and you'll see it later, have been fired. It's almost like if one company and the investors in that company pour millions and millions of dollars into a title that has been rehashed at least 4 times that we know of, and you are gassing them up, telling them it's gonna be a hit, people are gonna love this, inject DEI into there, they're gonna eat it the up. The modern audience is gonna buy it like popcorn, brother. We're gonna be set for life. And then the game comes out and it's on release dead. I'm surprised that on the, the 31st Veilguard release on the 1st, I'm surprised the EA on the 1st didn't close BioWare. I'm surprised. Blue Sky is where all the idiots go to cry. And Anne Lee, who apparently worked at BioWare, it's saying, I learned, it doesn't say, this is a writer, but she learned a lot during that time from exceptional folks. No, it's inclusive, okay? Just watch. One day I'm gonna take the letter X from these people and they're not gonna know what to do with their lives. in many disciplines, but also specifically from my fellow writers and our amazing editors on both Mass Effect and Dragon Age brands. Today, not a single one of those writers and editors remains employed there. Good. Again, what do you want people to do? I don't expect to go to a McDonald's, shit on a burger, and serve it to people and expect to keep my job. I invite you to do it, but don't expect to get paid or to keep your job after that. And the thing is, you have gotten away with shitting on people's food for a long time. But now, it's not happening anymore. Daddy EA put their foot down, and all of a sudden, EA is the devil now. But all of a sudden, there's like this shift in loyalties and companies that were great back in the Veilguard debacle. Now they're really bad. They're really bad people, and we don't like them, guys. Because, allegedly, Veilguard cost $250 million to make. Plus marketing, which other people are saying, not a lot of marketing. Marketing also encompasses like the deluxe editions. It encompasses the every deluxe in pre-order item, all the merch, and that costs a lot of money, okay? So, but let's say 250, okay? It lost nearly as much as it was put into it. It didn't make anything back. Or if it did, it was nothing. It didn't break even at all. And yeah, it is today one of the biggest financial flops. Kind of like, second to Concord. But Patrick Wicks, we all know Patrick Wicks. If you don't know Patrick Wicks, he took over after David Gator left BioWare, and he took over as senior writer. He made Tali. He created Tali. He created Maureen Solace. He created characters that are beloved by me to this day. So, in that regard, thank you, Patrick Wicks. And then Patrick Wicks turned into Trick Wicks. He goes by they, them now, which, not my circus, not my monkeys, but then he started to pull some stunts here. Instead of, focusing on what he had to focus, his job, apparently, he started like writing novels on the side that were not very good, and putting his efforts more into that than in actually making good characters. And then shit, happened. It went blurry for a second, and Tash happened. Let me remind you, okay? This person made Tali Zora in Maureen Solace. But he also made Tash from Dragon Age the Veilguard. He confirms, I am now looking for a new writing/narrative position. It's been a privilege to work with so many amazing devs over my 20 years at BioWare. The same way that Corinne Bush had been working 20 years at, almost 20 years at EA. And she got booted off. We know now that she didn't leave on her own volition. She was shown the door 100%. Patrick Wicks, after 20 years and working on the best IPs that BioWare has ever put out, bye-bye. And why? Because all I'm hearing, it's like, oh my god, how could they do that to Patrick Wicks and everyone that worked in Veilguard for so long? That's so disrespectful. He's been working there for 20 years. He fell off, bestie, sweetie, my love. He fell off. They'd be like, oh my god, how could they do this to Patrick Wicks? How could they do this to him? He works for... And who cares? He could have been working for BioWare for 50 years. He hasn't been delivering good writing. Why do you want a senior writer that cannot write anything good? We have John Epler. John Epler was the creative director of Veilguard. We have Corinne Bush, game director. We have Patrick Wicks' wife, I think. Yeah, John Epler was creative director and is currently narrative director on Skate. A Skate game? Little by little, they were just just slowly and without a fuss, just exiting the narrative because no one cares. But then the internet, the usual suspects just riled up. They were very upset. Their feelings were hurt for people that they don't know. Why? Because they have this thing called parasocial relationships with, game writers and developers. They think that because, Patrick Wicks has liked their tweets on Blue Sky, or he replied to them once, Korean Bush, he sent them an email. They're besties now. So they have to defend these people to their dying breath. And as usual, they don't really use a lot of arguments. They use emotions and guilt-tripping tactics to get everyone else to feel bad that you are glad that these people are not working on actively ruining video games anymore. And we know. And if you don't know, you should know, because we've been here before. Deja vu, we have been in this place before. Didn't want to be here. No. No. Everyone here can bear witness. I have been minding my own business. Have I not? I have been writing scripts. I've been doing my thing. And then I get pulled back. Hey, Elizabeth. Where to begin with Kayla Elizabeth? Kayla Elizabeth is, if you don't know, the ultimate shill for anything BioWare. Her personality for the longest time has been Mass Effect, and that she's disabled. That's it. What comes with that, it's a vicious cycle of making Mass Effect or Dragon Age content, and every time that she puts her food in her mouth, then she uses her disability to, get pity points and rinse and repeat, and that worked for her for a very long time. Not anymore, obviously. And Kayla, what Kayla does best is she sucks like nobody's business. This is a metaphor, okay? I don't know what she does in her downtime, but what she does is she brand noses every single developer, every single writer, every single staff member, anyone she can get access through social media. She will try to get in their good graces. This has worked for her for a while, and it got her into the council for Dragon Age Veilguard. If you know what the council is, it's just like a selective group of fans that had access to I think it was a Discord server, an exclusive Discord server with direct access to Corinne Bush, John Epler, writers, Patrick Weeks, yada yada. They had meetings. They met face to face with these writers. Kayla Elizabeth met Patrick Weeks and his wife. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Do we have a picture of who Kayla Elizabeth has been and always will be? Do you understand? So we have Kayla Elizabeth. The whole Veilguard theme comes on, whoa, people don't like Veilguard. But Kayla Elizabeth likes Veilguard. Why? Because she helped shape it. And you would ask yourself, Ada, who the is Kayla Elizabeth to shape a game from a AAA company? That's what I'm asking you as well. I think we can all agree that who the is she to decide what goes in a game and what doesn't? Or to speak for the entirety of the Dragon Age fandom. But she did. She and other, many other content creators did do this. They took it upon themselves to decide that they knew best. They knew what you and me, and your dad, and your cousin who also played Dragon Age, what we wanted in the game. And that got her, I think, her name in the credits for Veilguard. But you know what I really like? And I really I'm getting my hopes up, and I've been kind of hash about it because I'm gatekeeping from people like this. Exodus, who it's from Archetype Entertainment. And it's a Mass Effect from the people that previously worked at BioWare, not Veilguard, BioWare in its heyday when it was actually BioWare. And it's from the James Holland, who created Baldur's Gate, Mass Effect, Dragon Age. And I was like, oh my god, this is looking really good. And then what happens? This was many months back. What happens? What I get through the grapevine, someone tells me, hey, do you know that Kayla Elizabeth, it's in the biggest Exodus Discord server out there, unofficial. She's a mod, and she preemptively banned Is it Spells and Shields? Spells and Shields, another YouTuber that makes content on video games, because she doesn't like him. And I said, preemptive? Did he say anything in chat? Did he say anything in the Discord? No. He couldn't say anything because she got him banned before he could do anything. And I said, oh, and you know me, right? I love petty drama. I love controversy. It keeps me young. So I said, let's get him unbanned. And I did. But that's kind of the person that she is. And Kayla, if you can see here, she's followed by both Archetype Entertainment and BioWare, which never bodes well because we have seen that film before. Haven't we? We saw Kayla Elizabeth be part of a very small group of people with access to the game developers and the writers of a game. And we didn't like how that turned out. And then Eddie comes into the picture, okay? And if you don't know, and I'm not saying Eddie's copying my style, because he could never pull this off. I don't think he could fit. I put out a lot of Dragon Age content. I'm a writer, first and foremost. Before I'm hot and I'm obnoxious on the internet, I write. And I do character analysis videos and I do lore videos on anything really. I have started with Dragon Age because that's the one that I'm most familiar with. And I'm about to switch. I already switched to Exodus and I'm going to be switching to Warhammer as well. And Eddie comes out of the woodwork and he says, the waters still aren't safe for me, but I want to start breaking down Veilguard and talking about Dragon Age again. It's my passion and I have a lot to say. Not all of it's good, but it's all in good faith. Unlike so many videos on the internet right now, time to take back the narrative. Time to take back the narrative. I don't care that you don't like me. I don't care that you find me annoying, that you don't like my face, that you don't like my voice, that you don't like what I say or how I say it. I don't care. I have never, no day in my life, lied about any of the criticism I did on Veilguard. Where everyone else was making video after video on the top surgery scars, I was analyzing frame by frame every single bit of footage that BioWare put out on Veilguard. You may not like how I say things, and you may not like that I hurt your little feelings, but I have never, no my entire life, twisted the narrative to fit my worldview. I don't twist the narrative, I don't change the lore, I don't change anything to suit my version of the truth. But these people do. Because it's delusion. It's the delusions. You just cannot see the difference between reality and the dreamscape that you have in your head. But I just want to show you like the level of delusion that these people... Who was the one that was simper for Gale before? Come to the front. Come to the front of the class. I know you're there. Come here. I'm going to show you exactly why you shouldn't turn a blind eye to people's retarded takes just because you like their videos. And that applies to me as well. Katie here says, apart from my favorite thing being shot in front of my eyes, what is haunting me is the state of things. Dragon Age dying at the same time as my country rockets to fascism doesn't feel like a coincidence. And there you have it. That's all you need to know about Katie as a content creator and as a person, okay? And this is exactly why people like Katie cannot be involved in games. And they cannot be the voice of the majority. They can't. Because, I don't know about you guys, I don't want politics in my games. None. Not yours, not theirs, not your neighbors, not your cats. None. And here we have Edward again. I think after branding myself completely on Dragon Age, because it quite literally changed my life, the only way for me to go forward is to keep it alive in content. I'm worried for Mass Effect. Something doesn't feel right to me. And Teriyaki here, this idiot says, none of what's happening to BioWare sits right with me. It hasn't felt right since the Mary Kirby was laid off right before the game's launch. I suspect they're going to do to Dragon Age and Mass Effect if Mass Effect 5 doesn't perform the way they want, what they did to Alice. Hoard the IP, but keep it shelved for eternity. I wish that's what I wish happened to Dragon Age, but it didn't. And they took it out and they paraded its corpse around, and then they shit and pissed and spit on it, and they put it back into the casket.